and welcome back to Dad's Kitchen, where I'm going to show you today how to make gazpacho. The gazpacho is a wonderful, it's a soup, it's a cold soup, it's a Spanish soup, and you can make it out of any fruit. That's the most important thing we have to remember. I'm going to make a beetroot gazpacho today, which is very popular. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to chop up some tomatoes, open that up, and again, the nicer the tomato, the better the gazpacho. It doesn't need to be cut into very small pieces, but small enough so that we can work out we're going to blend it. Okay, so that's the tomato done, and you will have noticed that I didn't remove the skin at all. I actually like that little bit of fibre. You can remove it if you want. Another ingredient, some green pepper. I'm going to put that in there, and some cucumber. You could remove a little bit. Normally I don't, because I quite like it. It gives it a more bitter flavour. Okay. And we can put that in there, and we give it another bliss. Onion is another ingredient. That's an important part of that. Again, as I always say, if you don't like onion, don't add it. You don't like garlic, don't add it. You don't like pepper, don't add it. The base has got to be the tomato, but any fruit will also do. So you could use strawberries, peaches, cherries, anything like that. The garlic, again, I like to add quite a bit. And the star ingredient of this one, I buy this because it's actually very, very messy to boil it and actually peel it. And it works quite well because all I've got to do, literally, I just put it over the top there, cut it, and all that liquid can actually go in there, so I don't make too much of a mess. And then again, because it's quite soft, if I just go like this, I don't make too much of a mess. And then I can literally just put it in there. And we blitz again. You can see the beautiful, beautiful color that it's turned into. Now, you have two options here. Gazpacho is a relatively light dish, very refreshing in the summer. You have the salmorejo version, which tends to be thicker and it has much more bread. Stale bread is the thing for it. I like to add, even if I just add a little bit of it, I do like to add it. Now, normally to make it easier, you could have soaked it, but it's not completely dry. So I'm just going to put it in there in smaller bits. This tends to thicken it a bit. Okay, and that should have mixed quite well. It's a beautiful color. The beetroot one is one of my favorites because of the color. Now, again, depends how much salt you want to add. I like to add quite a bit, but it's always better to add a little bit less because then you can add, if you need it, much more later. Now, pepper, again, because I like the flavor of freshly ground black pepper, I use a lot. Now, there are different schools of thought in terms of the oil and the vinegar. There are some people who add the oil and the vinegar right at the beginning and it emulsifies a lot, and there are people, I fit into that one, that adds it at the end because I don't want to make a mayonnaise. I don't want to thicken it so much. I want to emulsify, but not loads. And I think of it, have I told you you need a kilo of this, a kilo of that? No, because it depends on what you use. And again, think of the gazpacho as a liquid salad, and literally what you're going to do is basically dress it. Quite a bit in my salad, so that's what I've done. And the same thing is wonderful red wine vinegar. Again, so you need less vinegar than oil. You would put that in there, okay? And if you want to emulsify it lots, you blitz it a lot. If you just want to give it a little bit of a hint, then briefly. Okay, So that's the gazpacho done. It just literally takes minutes to get it done. Now the best thing for this now is for it to go in the fridge. And if you do it overnight, then that is the best, because it really is nice when it's chilled. So that's what we're going to do now. And of course, one of the wonderful things about gazpacho salmorejo are the things that you add to it. And normally in a restaurant you will get things like bits of ham. Usually you get whatever ingredients you use in it, some of it will be chopped, and sometimes croutons. I don't add the croutons, but you could add it. But I'm going to do something much more exciting with it, because I'm going to combine the Spanish gazpacho with what could be a very typical British breakfast. I'm going to use some smoked bacon, and I'm going to poach an egg, and that is going to be how I'm going to decorate it. You could also put a slice of toast on it, but we're not going to use the bread. So using this hot plate from Bra, which is great, I've got some bits of bacon already cut into slices. No oil, you can hear that. I love the sizzling sound, because without the oil, the extra fat, I wish you could smell it now, the extra fat is going to be consumed. So that's that stage, okay? Now, to poach the egg, boiling water, a little bit of vinegar. I'm using the same red wine vinegar, and you need salt. You can, of course, add salt afterwards to the egg. There are loads of ways of poaching an egg, and there's lots of tools and lots of gadgets and stuff. I like to do it this way. Of course, it could go wrong now. The minute it touches, it should curl up. That's the purpose of the vinegar. That's working beautifully. You can see how it's crisped up, and that extra fat is disappearing. And you can see how the egg is starting to, it's really like a flamenco dancer, and just going like that, and actually curling in. So it's nearly done. Now this, you could leave it to cool, because then it'll go dry and crispy, and it'll go like a crisp. So we could do that. Anyway, by the time we're going to use it, it might dry out a little bit. So I'm going to turn that down, because that's done already. Okay, and the egg, beautifully cooked, just picked it up there, but it can stay there for a bit more. We're now ready to dish up. Okay, so everything is ready now, and I've got the gazpacho here. I usually put it in this container, it goes in the fridge, and again, I like it this consistency. It's beautiful, isn't it? If you wanted it a bit lighter, you just add a little bit of water, but obviously at the end, you could also, if you're in a rush, you could also have put some ice cubes in that blender. That Braun blender is incredible. It would have done the trick. Now, I did say before that I wasn't going to use any bread, but when I saw that egg going like that, like a flamenco dancer, I thought it needs a baineta. So I have toasted a few bits. I'm going to put that there, and then the bacon is already dry enough, so I'm just going to place it like this. That's the bacon. I've got the egg. And I love a few raisins. It gives it a very sort of British Indian colonial feel, and of course it needs a bit of olive oil. And I need to put some pepper on. And this is how I make beetroot gazpacho salmorejo. This is how I make it, and it's one of those things that I can't resist. So I am going to have a little bit of a taste with a little bit of bacon. I'm going to take it in. And it's incredible. It's like having a salad with breakfast toast. Marvelous.